Coming up in this episode of the KickCast, the Freeloader is smaller, lighter, and stronger than its opponents. Using your foot to adjust the pedals on the fly, a way to take your OS with you on your wrist, and what's a Watsi? So sit back and relax. It's time for the KickCast. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the KickCast. I am Ktdata, your host. And if you guys have never seen the KickCast before, this is the podcast where I try to keep you up to date with a lot of crowdfunding news and also a lot of projects. We go around a lot of crowdfunding projects to try and find you the coolest out there. If you have never heard of crowdfunding before, you've probably heard of the website Kickstarter or Indiegogo. The idea behind these crowdfunding websites is that you say, oh, I have this idea to do this, but I need X amount of money to make it happen. So will you guys, chip in as much as you can and help make this project happen? That's the whole idea of crowdfunding right there. And I am a huge believer in it. And that's why that's why I made this show, because I wanted to show you the coolest projects out there. So let's go into the news section, because we have tons of things to cover today. All right, so the day after the show, our last episode 9 aired, Kickstarter actually announced Kickstarter Tags. So you might be wondering, all right, KT, what in the world are these Kickstarter Tags? So it's kind of like a Facebook tag or a blog tag where you can just put those tags on, and it will link you to similar items that are also similarly tagged like that. So what happens is it allows you to link to similar themed projects or similar trends that the project seems to be going in. So I can imagine maybe a tag that says iPad case or something like that. Right now, the tags are actually collected and curated by the Kickstarter staff. So as far as I know, you can't assign yourself your own tags, but I could be wrong. If you guys are running a Kickstarter project and actually know the details on that, because I haven't tried to launch anything, please let me know. KickCast at ktdata.net. You can also find them on the sidebar, the Discover page. So if you actually click on Discover on Kickstarter, you'll see that little bar that has the the different categories and everything. And if you scroll down, you'll see this area that says tags on there. When I last checked, there was a civic tag, a science tag, and a cats tag. But hey, it's the internet, and the internet is full of cat videos, right? Is that what everybody says to me? I actually really like this idea, because it allows you to, again, discover new projects that are related. Say you are a big person into zombies, which is another tag right there. You see this zombie movie you like, and then you also see other related things like a zombie iPhone case or a zombie video game or, a zombie towels or something like that. So it allows you kind of to discover a lot of that stuff and everything, and it now opens up a nice new possibility of things. Hey, who knows? Maybe we can one day pick one tag, and we can actually go do a whole episode of the KickCast that features only products with that specific tag. If you guys like that idea, let me know. Again, kickcast at ktdata.net. Any kind of input is always welcome, because I always like hearing feedback from you guys and figuring out ways we can improve the show in that way. So that is Kickstarter Tags right there. And another thing about crowdfunding, notice that although we focus a lot on Kickstarter projects, I try to make a variety of different crowdfunding websites. Like Indiegogo is another big one that I try to feature projects from, might I say. I always say products, but it's projects, ideas. And I actually found this really cool one that was mentioned the other day, and it's called Watsi. So you're like, all right, KT, what in the world is Watsi? So Watsi is actually a crowdfunding website that tries to fund low-cost but high-impact medical treatments for millions of people in need. So if we actually switch to their website right here, or other way, right here, you can actually see the website. It has a similar layout to Pinterest or maybe Kickstarter itself right there. And what it has is different people on their project page right here that need some kind of medical care, and it's low-cost medical care, so it has to be under $3,000 US. You can actually see that in Kenya right here, this 23-year-old woman just needs $428 to get a procedure done. You know, it's things that will help to get these people on their feet, and I think it's actually a great idea. You can see as we go, there's a lot of them, and you know, a lot of you are probably like, all right, KT, this sounds cool and everything, but this, you know, we all remember Coney 2012, right? Where you discover that most of the funds kind of go into the actual organization than kind of helping out these products right here. But you can actually see there's a lot of fully funded projects over here. And what is cool is that 100% of your pledge goes to them. And you're like, what? How is that possible? It turns out that this company is actually run by it's fun. It's all volunteer work, and all the costs are actually funded by private donors. They even eat the 2.6% cost from PayPal for collecting a pledge, and that's all pretty much all their operating costs because everything else is donated. And if you don't believe me, they actually have a Google Doc, if it will load up right here, that shows you the patient's information, shows you their location, it shows you the medical partner that's helping out with that. It shows you the everything on there where there's a privacy release waiver. It shows you the treatment costs, shows you how much PayPal took out of it, shows you everything here that you can break down and see exactly where all the money is and how the treatment's going. They even send an email out to update you on how the person's doing after their treatment. So you're actually literally helping people out. So if you do like the idea of crowdfunding but haven't really found a project or anything, I would highly suggest you try out Watsi and see if you can help somebody else that just needs something that sounds so simple for us to get here in the U.S. Just help him. This guy has a fractured leg right here, and he's not able to. It's just simple things like that. And what I also like about the site is, unlike all the crowdfunding sites, you see that there are a lot of projects here. There are pages upon pages on here, but they only have a handful of them at a time. So that way you don't have to kind of wade through and see if, I really want to help this person, but I really couldn't find it on there. They're smart to only feature a couple people at a time on there. And like I said, I like this great idea. You're actually helping someone get better so they can go out and do things in their lives. So that is Watsi. If you guys are interested in going to that, it's watsi.org. Watsi.org on there. So that's kind of been a slow couple weeks for news and crowdfunding sites. People are probably going to be, all right, KT, the biggest news as of late has been Ouya, but if you guys haven't heard about it, you can hear about it everywhere. Essentially, they're going to be found in a lot of retail markets, and Ouya, of course, was the Android game console that was very successful on Kickstarter. That kind of thing. So let's just jump into our first project, the Freeloader, on this. Let me first of all kind of do a disclaimer that this project is definitely not something that I need personally, but I figured that some of you guys have kids out there and you probably need something like this. So the Freeloader is actually a lightweight, sleek, ultra portable pack, child carrier that you can wear with or without a passenger in it. I've had little cousins and growing up. You go hiking and everything, and they're like, I'm tired. I can't walk anymore, and you're only like halfway through. So usually you have to carry them on your back and everything. And I didn't even know this, but apparently there's a huge market of child carriers for people who want to go hiking and everything. And so the idea of the Freeloader is that it's one of these packs, but it's a lot smaller and it's a lot stronger for that because it apparently a lot of other ones can't hold as much weight. This one can actually hold up to 100 pounds. And you can see right here that it's supposedly the next generation. So you can see here there's a backpack with a seat that can fold down, and the child can sit on that seat, and you can strap the child in so they're there. And when you're not, you can fold it back up, and it just looks like a normal backpack that you're carrying around. It's small, so you can actually fit it into a car, into pretty much anywhere. It's not as intrusive. The one thing I actually learned from this is that a lot of these backpack seat things are huge. They're ginormous. They look like full hiking backpacks, and you can actually stick this in some of their competitors on there. It comes with padded shoulder straps and a waist belt to help distribute the weight on there. And you also can change the back part to a different design if you want to, so you can make it look all customized and that kind of stuff. They've actually passed all the regulations, needed all the safety regulations, everything. They just need that initial fund so they can start mass producing these things out there. I like this idea. It's not big, it's not bulky like the other ones. You don't feel like you're wearing a hiking not a hiking backpack, but like a full-on giant backpack on there. I totally see the need for this too, and the actual seat part they had, there was actually in their video they show one of the guys actually has it mounted to his wall or door frame, and he's like doing pull-ups on it. I'm like, holy crap! So that can actually hold fairly well, a lot of weight on there, and it can hold most kids, because we all know not all kids are the same size, shape, and all that. Everybody's a little bit different. The only drawback I see is that it's not an actual backpack, so you can't really store anything in it. But let's be honest about this. If you're going to have a child on your back while you're hiking and everything, you probably don't want to have a lot of stuff between you and the kid, because the kid will either, try to go in and open all the food you have, or just crush it entirely. By the way, Eric and Nathan, if you guys ever see this episode of the KickCast, I don't know if you will or not, but your kids are adorable. It looks a little awkward. So Laser Norm said that the way the kid on the fold down seat looks a little awkward, but I don't think so. If you actually, let's see if I can find that picture right here. So here's actually a picture on the street. You can't really see the seat anymore while you're carrying around, because probably the kid has a coat or anything. But it's better than just having him look the opposite direction, in my opinion. So that's right there. So of course, here at the KickCast, we always have a rating system where it's back, track, or sack. In my opinion, you guys should definitely track these guys, because I think it's a great project. And actually, looking at the prices, to get actually one of these, it's going to be $169 if you're not one of the first 30. I looked up the prices for a lot of these carriers. Man, those things are expensive, and I think this is actually slightly cheaper than most of them. So I think it's a pretty good deal on there. And if you get, I know if some of you guys have kids, this is definitely something for this. I personally won't be getting one because I don't have any kids, and if I did, I'd have a feeling all my friends would be like, "Can I just get a piggyback ride or something on there?" So that is the freeloader right there. That actually describes some of my friends, though. All right, on to our next project is called the Flex Effects. Another disclaimer. Actually, I realized when I'm looking through all these projects that I'm kind of stepping out of my comfort zone. If you guys have watched these episodes, you kind of know I'm more of a tech guy / anime guy, and that's where I know a lot of things are. I know a little bit about this next thing. This is actually a guitar pedal. I don't even know how to play a guitar, but it actually looks really cool. So the Flex Effects is actually a guitar pedal that allows a guitarist to adjust the pedals with their feet in real time. So you guys are all probably going, KT, what's so awesome about that? So most guitar pedals, there's just one button that you can actually hit with your foot. It's usually a switch or a large button on there, and it's pretty much pedal on, pedal off. Usually, and then sometimes you'll actually see knobs and everything on those guitar pedals. But the problem with that is you can't really adjust those during a live show because you actually have to bend down. So usually you'll see a lot of musicians and stuff who want to adjust that, do it in between songs and stuff. So they actually have to bend down and change it or something similar like that. The Flex Effects actually has little wheels that you can actually turn with your feet on there, and you can actually see that right here. There are little feet on the side of them that you can actually turn with your feet, and you can adjust things like how much reverb you're getting or the delay between the reverb and things like that. So that's actually pretty cool on there. And the irony about this is if you do a lot of producing music without real instruments, doing it in like Pro Tools or I don't even know, some of the Acid or things like, or Adobe Audition, or Audition, you can actually do this on the fly. You know, you just change a slider or change a number on it, and it changes for you right there. The creator of this, William Gadol, he's actually kind of taking software and creating it back into hardware, where usually the trend is hardware turning it into software. But I think this is a great idea right there. He does so it's tiny, because if you've been to a concert or anything and you've seen the guitarist, depending on your guitarist, you can have a teeny tiny little pedal board, or he might only have one pedal on there, or you see these guys with these giant pedals or giant pedal boards that have like 50 different pedals on there trying to change all these effects. And I have a feeling a lot of them have those 50 ones because they are trying to have an effect for a specific song or want something for just that right moment in live music to make it work. And these things are tiny. So they're 3.75 inches by 5.5 inches and 3 inches tall. You may notice that these are actually a little bit taller than other pedals, and he actually does that intentionally. You can actually kind of see this right here where he has a pedal board right there. The reason why he does that is so you can actually turn those wheels without hitting another pedal next to it, which is I think it's a genius idea right there, because I would have never thought of that. But he's actually an actual musician who travels around and knows how important some of these things are. So you can actually see right here he's using his foot to change these pedals right here, and you can still turn that on and off on there. The different pedal effects he has are a mixer, an analog delay, a reverb, tremolo, and dual expression with tap tempo. What those individual effects are, don't ask me because I don't know. But I do. They sound familiar to me because you hear a lot of these terms and stuff, but I couldn't describe you to what exact effects are. He also has plans on expanding this to other effects on there. So if there's not quite that one effect that you have that you really want yet, still back him, and hopefully he'll be able to expand this line. He just needs that. Again, a lot of these projects just need that little push so they can start doing this full time and everything. So, again, I know nothing about guitar gear at all, but looking at the pricing, it seems to be pretty comparable to other pedals, because it goes from $139 to about $200 depending on what pedal effect you want on there. I think it's a great idea. I love the little things that he thinks about, that he puts into those. And you'd be surprised how some of those little things just make a world of a difference, like the height on this, or he actually has it so it can work with some of the other pedals out there that require more time sensitive things on there. So that's just that little icing that I love to see on a lot of products like that. So, backtrack or sack on this one, I have to say back. It's a great idea. You can tell he put a lot of thought into it, and I'm honestly excited to see what else he's getting. He's looking for a $60,000 goal, which is a little expensive, but think about it. He's making these almost essentially from scratch on there, and if you think about a lot of, especially this pro audio gear or pro video gear, $60,000, that's probably just a drop in the bucket for $60,000 is not that much, especially when you think that some of these effects start from $139 to $200. So I think that's a good range, and it's actually a good idea on there. So you definitely should back that. So that is the Flex Effects. It's a cool name too. All right. So our next project right here is called the Stormfly. So you're probably thinking, all right, this is probably some LED or something like that. So, but it's not actually. The Stormfly is actually a USB 3.0 device that you plug into a computer. It doesn't have to be your computer, and it will boot up an OS, and you can take it anywhere. It's in this cool wristband format, so you can just leave it on your wrist and just go with it. So it's all, essentially having a PC on your wrist, except almost a PC. You still need a PC, but you don't have to use the OS on there or anything. So, and it's only $59, which is actually a decent price. There's also a optional backup service they have that goes for $19.99 per year. And what's cool about this is if you actually lose this wristband right here, since they have their backup service, you can actually pay $49. They'll send you a new wristband, and they will send you the last backup on that wristband. So all you got to do is plug in, and it's like it hasn't changed at all. So it's actually, it's cool. I like it that all your stuff is on one drive that you can kind of take everywhere, and it doesn't, really, you don't necessarily have to lug around a laptop or anything. As long as there's a computer that has a USB drive there, you should be good to go. You don't even have to have a special enclosure. Just slap it on your wrist. Usually I don't forget anything if it's on my wrist. And there's really no messy setups for live CDs and everything. So people are like, oh, KT, but isn't this just a Linux live CD? So it's sort of like a Linux live CD, and of course you can always make your own live CD like this. This is a little bit different because you don't have to install anything, and usually with live CDs you have to worry about driver issues with different machines and everything. They've taken care of all of that. It's plug, and you should be good to go with most machines that you try with it. Of course, like I said, you can do this by yourself now. It's just, if you're not kind of a techie person that likes to tinker with a lot of these things like I am or some other people, it's easy. So this device is actually probably not aimed at the PC enthusiast or the tech enthusiast right there, people who like to tinker. This is more for let's say students or parents who have kids that you don't want them downloading viruses or filling up your computer with crapware because they want to play a game or something, or anybody who's really on the go. If you travel a lot and you don't want to lug around a laptop, you can take one of these with you, and pretty much everybody else has a laptop that you can borrow right there. All you got to do is plug it into your computer and restart it, and then select the Stormfly, and you should be good to go on that. They come in different flash sizes. I think it comes in a... I forgot to look this up. Let's see if I can find it right now. But okay, right here. So their first model is 16 gigs, and 8 gigs are reserved for the OS. 4 gigs are for the user/username, and then 4 gigs are left for the shared folder. So essentially you have 8 gigs to use by yourself on there. I think they're working on a larger sizes, but right now they haven't said anything. about that. So that's a little con right there, is you have a smaller hard drive space, so you can't carry everything that you normally would. So you'd have to rely on services like Google Docs and Dropbox or Box.net, some kind of cloud storage solution to store some of your files on there. And notice that I haven't even said anything about the issue being a Linux OS. To be honest with you, these days most people, Linux has really good desktop program or desktop GUIs, so most people can still find their way around a Linux machine without thinking too hard about it. Things might be called a little bit different, but a lot of people usually can figure that out right there. And so there's a little bit drawbacks. Their goal is $100,000, which is a little bit on the expensive side for this right here and for what it does. But so for my backtrack or sack, I have to say, as much as I like this idea of just being able to carry a device on my wrist or in my bag somewhere that I can just plug into any computer and start going, I have to say sack. You see a similar idea with things such as the Google Chromebook, which I'm actually using right now, where it's like, oh, you don't have to have the machine with you. You can just log in anywhere with your Google account, and all your settings and whatnot should come down with you on there. It's kind of a similar idea, except you're using a flash drive for this. I can see some issues with the flash drive. Like, I know that there are, depending on where you go, some computers, like a lot of university computers, I know that you can plug in a flash drive, but they have disabled the ability to boot from the flash drive. And if you can't boot from the flash drive, you can't load up the OS from here. So you'll have to use the OS that's on that computer. You still can access your files and everything, but you won't be able to use that OS that you have customized with your apps and everything just the way you want it. So that's a little drawback. And the USB size is another limited. As the cloud is good. I still think the cloud is, cloud's going to be the future. That's going to be a way, but sometimes I like having local copies of my files. So that's a little bit of drawback. If they had a little bit larger USB file sizes on there, I might be okay with it on there. But I just, honestly, looking at this project, it's such a great idea. I really want these guys to succeed, but I just don't think this idea is really going to catch on with a lot of people. I think if you think about it, I have the hardest time explaining to people that, oh, this is how you you can just log into Google Docs and access that anywhere, or things like that, where I think this adds a little bit more complexity, that there's a lot of people that may not be able to be like, oh, so I plugged it in, but how come the OS didn't? I'm like, oh, you have to restart. But little things like that. So unfortunately, I have to say back on that, or sack on that. Sorry, guys. Just because of that on there. Like I said, I like the idea. All right, so if you guys watched last episode of the KickCast, we actually gave some stuff away. Laser Norm over there actually won a Pebble wristband, and I still have one more to give away tonight. And I actually took all our Facebook followers and people who liked the post on there, and put them into a nice random number generator to pick somebody. And our winner now is one Mike B. So congratulations, Mike B. You just have won a Pebble wristband. I will be contacting you shortly to send that to you, or figure out how I can get it to you on there. And that's actually all I have for the KickCast today. Again, if you have feedback, have projects, or I'm also looking for videos, or if you find a project that you want to talk about, record a 2 to 3 minute clip, audio, video, anything like that works, and just email it to me at kickcast@ktdata.net, and there's a super high chance that will actually end up on the next episode of the KickCast right there, and that way we can have a little discussion on there. Also, you can actually check us out at facebook.com/kickcast, and that's where I post sometimes I find nice articles in between shows and everything. I'll post them over there. I'm actually doing something called KickCast Cuts, and those are usually the episodes, or not episodes, the projects. I looked through a lot of crowdfunding projects, and just not all of them can make it to the final episode, so I'll actually post them up there so you can check out the ones that barely missed the cut on there. Or you can actually check us out at kickcast.net, where you'll find all these episodes, show notes to any of these links. So you'll be like, oh, what was that project and where do I find it again? You can just head on over to kickcast.net and find it there. I'll also be posting what I call KickCast Rewinds, which are when I do get a successful Kickstarter project or a crowdfunding project, and I get that, and if it's an item or something, I'll do a short review on it. So the first one of those is going to be coming up very shortly. It should be up by the time this episode's out, and it's going to be of the Pebble Watch. If you guys don't remember the Pebble Watch, it's the watch that raised $10 million on Kickstarter on there. So it's pretty cool. Make sure you guys check that out. Of course, we're on Facebook at facebook.com/KickCast, on Twitter at KickCast, Google Plus, you can find us at plus.kickcast.net. And of course, we also record this show live. So our next episode will be February 19th, 2013. That's another Tuesday. Remember, the show's on Tuesday now. And you can see that at live.kickcast.net. You can actually show up, and there's people in the chat room. I do look at the chat room and try to talk to people and everything there at the same time. So it's, good conversations are going on and everything. And there's a lot of stuff before and after this episode that you don't see. And you see all the crazies on there. So, guys, I will see you all in 2 weeks. Until then, guys, bye.